The Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our Americas, ALBA-TCP, held an extraordinary meeting on Wednesday to denounce the attempted coup d'etat in Bolivia. During the meeting, the president of Bolivia, Luis Arce, highlighted the spontaneous reaction of citizens to defend democracy and social organizations during the coup acts in Murillo Square. He also rejected the military repression of the popular resistance that left 14 people wounded by firearms. In this regard, he detailed that the Bolivian justice had ordered administrative measures and house arrest in accordance with what is established by law. For their part, the members of the alliance expressed their unconditional support for the government of Bolivian President Luis Arce, while rejecting the advance of the ultra-right in the region.
Disinformation and well-orchestrated campaigns seek to erode confidence in the legitimate and constitutional government through fake news. The right-wing and conservative nationalism seek to impose the matrix that it was not a coup, it was a self-coup. As they imposed the narrative that it was not a coup but a fraud to justify the overthrow of the then-President Evo Morales in 2019. In this sense, it is fundamental to recover the democratic values of the rule of law and to reject the fundamentalism and warlordism that lead us. We categorically reject the narrative that there was no military coup d'etat. Those who promote this narrative nationally and internationally represent interests that are distant from the interests of the government and the plurinational state of Bolivia and the Bolivian people themselves, promoting the installation of a fascist government in our continent.
For his part, the president of Cuba, Miguel Díaz-Canel, said that if the ultra-right wing achieves its objectives in Latin America, peace will end and the persecution of social leaders will return. For this reason, he emphasized the need to protect the progressive governments of the region.
The ultra-right uses this polarization to attack popular governments by means of manipulation and deceit. They seek to hinder their policies of social development and the advances achieved as a result of decades of struggle of the people. If they achieve their objectives, there will be no calm times ahead. Repression and persecution of social leaders will come. There will come the atrocious neoliberalism, the surrender of natural resources to transnational corporations. New lost decades will come and the setback of all the advances in integration will be intensified. We see and know that a halt is possible if we continue to bet on unity with respect for diversity. Our peoples know it. This explains the spontaneous mobilization that immediately came to defend President Lucho, even though the lives of these people were at risk. A government of progressive and popular orientation must defend itself in tight unity against the powerful adversaries it brings with it. It is up to all of us to promote solidarity and cooperation in the region, complying strictly, directly or indirectly, in the affairs of attempts of any other state, but unhesitatingly supporting progressive governments.
Also, the Prime Minister of San Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, stated that the attempted coup d'etat in Bolivia was aimed at strengthening imperialism and the application of unequal economic policies in the region.
And when we have a democratically elected government, and this democratic government is progressive and anti-imperialist, whether by design or not, the actions of the coup perpetrators are actions designed to strengthen imperialism, to strengthen an unequal economic policy. Therefore, I am not surprised that pro-imperialist governments around the world, including in Latin America, applaud this coup. Fortunately, There are enough people in Latin America and the world and of course in ALBA who are united in denouncing this anti-democratic act and the violence inherent in a coup d'état.
The representative of the government of Nicaragua expressed that the country denounces the attempted coup d'état in Bolivia as well as the paramilitary maneuvers and movements that took place in the center of the Bolivian capital.
The government of reconciliation and national unity of our blessed, dignified and always free Nicaragua denounces to the world the new attempted coup d'état that is being experienced in Bolivia, where the yearnings of tranquility, security, peace and democracy of the people have been shaken. We denounce the maneuver and paramilitary movements that are developing in the center of the Bolivian capital, La Paz, in an attempt to intimidate the efforts of the people of that brother country to transcend and advance in their own paths according to their own democratic models and the inspirations and rights to create their own destiny without interference or interventions of any kind from Nicaragua, which has overcome a history of aggression and foreign interventions. We express our clear and decisive solidarity with this brotherly people, with its president, Comrade Luis Arce, with Vice President David Choquehuanca and with Brother Evo Morales, the president and social and popular leader of this great people.
President Nicolás Maduro denounced that violent actions were also being carried out in Venezuela with the support of Colombian paramilitaries and expressed his full support for Bolivia and ALBA-TCP.
What we are going to achieve, what the people is going to achieve is a great victory. They did it in the state of Táchira. They don't know us yet. We are plagued by Colombian paramilitarism. They want to generate violence. They wanted to take over Táchira and the rest of Venezuela. Violence here and violence there. Today it is a safe and peaceful state, and I can say from the state of Táchira to my brothers and sisters of ALBA, to receive all the support from the people of Venezuela, to the right road of ALBA. We are waging a battle where Bolivia has given an example of dignity and capacity to respond.